Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels, where I'm already laughing because John Lees and Alex Cormack have returned together. This is John's, I
Woo!
think, fourth time on the show. Alex's fifth.
Yeah.
Their second time together. The last time they were on together, Tyler and I actually just put the microphones down for like half an hour, and they didn't even notice we were gone.
Now, I've got a question. Like, this is like my fourth time. You say, when is this gonna start getting like Saturday Night Live and you start giving us like, the special like smoking jackets and stuff?
Hey,
Like,
this is my five timers.
uh,
Five timers. Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
There's Conan
I
O'Brien
can,
drinking the drinks.
I might be able to pull off a T-shirt. My
I'll take
wife
it.
makes T-shirts. My wife makes T-shirts. So I'll
Oh
talk to
yeah.
her about five-timer T-shirts.
Yep,
Oh hell
sounds good.
yeah.
Only needs to do one more
Smokers
visit
jackets,
on the
I don't
show
know
and
if
I'll
I
get
can
it.
afford, but five times, I mean,
Oh, 100%
particularly because my wife is a huge Saturday Night Live fan. I think when I picture the idea of the Five Timers T-shirt, she'll be all over it and start designing it. So I love the idea, John. I'll talk to her when she gets home.
Take
Beautiful.
full
That's
credit.
P.O. Box 1062.
Yep. When's Emerald City? Because it's way cheaper to ship to Seattle than to.
Oh, we'll have to get a fifth appearance in before the show just to justify it.
I have
Yeah,
I
the
have a
convention
cousin in
is.
Seattle. I can just ship it to him and tell you what street corner to meet him on.
Oh yeah,
I'll have to
that'll
add it to
that's a
the
good
list of
idea.
people I'm meeting in street corners over the weekend. um, yeah, Seattle Emerald City Comic Con runs from the 29th of February through to the 3rd of March. It's a 4-day con at the Seattle Convention Center. I'll be there at booth C24 in Artist Alley, tabling with the great Adam Cahoon, artist of Dynasty, because it's in my contract. I
Yeah.
can work with artists whose initials are AC.
That is a weird cut. I've never seen that. That's after Ian Laurie with the Emily was gone. You're like, I can't do this anymore. I need to
Yeah, that's it. No,
specifically
that's it.
do
That's me.
ACs.
I love the air conditioning that they have in American hotels so much. I want to keep this vibe going through every partnership I do from now on.
Well, I'm glad I could provide that for you.
So you guys have another Kickstarter running.
We do.
Somebody want to tell us about it?
Oh my god.
I know, like
I mean,
I'm
you
saying,
should sell
this
stuff.
may come as a shock to you, Alex, but we have a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Good lord.
He
Yeah, so
doesn't
the
pay
next
attention until you give him the money to start drawing.
You're gonna give me some money? All right.
So he was like Zach like Zangief in the Street Fighter movie, you get paid.
Hooray. Finally.
So Sync Monsters is the latest Sync Kickstarter campaign. It is a double bill. It's like two chapters of Sync in one Kickstarter exclusive package. It's what will eventually be Sync 12 and 13. But right now it's a special kind of 64 page, two stories in one kind of bundle with lots of backup stories and bonus content and lots of cool Kickstarter exclusive stuff. The stories contained within are kind of like interconnected. It's advancing the kind of mystery that was set up at the end of the previous story, revolving the death of this kid, Robbie Carmichael, and then of repercussions through Sync Hill as a result of it. So the first of our two stories is set in the present day, and it follows Cy McCurdy, who's the kind of criminal overlord of Glasgow, who we've seen in the periphery of various stories leading up to this point. And after kind of being a fringe figure, before now, like this time he takes center stage and it's all revolving around him. It's like a classic like one bad day story in the vein of Uncut Gems, like what can possibly go wrong when you're spinning all these plates and you're the guy everyone turns to. So that's been it's a really fun story to kind of write and develop, and it kind of builds up the lore of the criminal underworld in Glasgow and sets up some bigger mysteries for down the line. And then the second story is set in 1950s, post-war Glasgow, and it follows Chrissy Woods, who was the main character in our previous story, but this time it's like back when she was a kid, and it's all about the story of Iron Tooth Jack, the Gorbals vampire, which was an actual urban legend in Glasgow back at the time. Like that is actually true. Like big Roman gangs of kids all kind of occupied the necropolis, which is a massive cemetery in Glasgow, hunting for this vampire that they believe was out there. So I thought it'd be quite good to weave that into the world of Sync. And it all becomes part of this one big mystery. Like, so because you start to figure out that maybe this kid that's turned up dead wasn't the first kid to turn up that way. So what is the link between the mystery in the 1950s and the mystery of the present day?
Very, very cool. Now, Alex, did he tell you that it was going to be 64 pages this time?
I'm just finding this out now.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Also, you need to update your Kickstarter, John, because I'm seeing it at 22,652, and it says that there's a stretch goal at 22,500 that you haven't unlocked yet.
Oh yeah, that's not. I don't run the graphics. It's Comic Stripe that run the kind of organized. I did make a post on my socials saying that we've hit that milestone. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
all backers will be getting their copies of Sync 12 and Sync 13 scripts. The funny thing was that I saw that was one of the stretch goals, and I looked and like actually there was like a spoiler in the script. Like, oh yeah, for your reference, Alex, the killer that is going to be revealed to be this person in the later issue, and I was like, okay, better take that out so that the readers don't see that.
You should
So that's
redact
been
it.
redacted.
Yeah, you should put the black redaction. Don't like take it out, redact it. It'll look way cooler. Though I got to give you more of a hard time because these scripts, the picture, they're spiral bound, but then it says PDFs. How do you spiral bound a PDF, John?
You take your computer and you spin it into a circle. I'm holding it, and then it spiral bounds it.
I mean, if we have to spell these things out for you, man. I mean,
Come on. I know not everyone's as tech
keep up,
literate
keep
as
up.
me, but yeah.
And were you guys actually? Somebody did some photoshopping, I think, because there's a picture of the two of you with the new covers.
Oh, that's what I said.
Well,
Oh,
everything about that picture
meet
is
in the
real
middle. You
apart
both got
from
into
the cover.
rowboats. Both
No,
got into
everything
rowboats
about
and met in the middle.
everything about the picture is real apart from the covers. It's not like they had a
Okay.
double playing Alex or something like this. It was like we actually met and took that picture at a convention at one point. I think the book we were holding was like one of the previous Sync volumes, and then like Tyler's just snipped out that book and replaced it with the cover.
Stuck it in there. Yeah.
And just to be fair, as I'm looking at it, John, I wouldn't have guessed that they got a double to play Alex. It would have been I thought that they got a double to play you.
Yeah,
You're much
technically it
younger
would
in
be easier
person.
to find
You're
me
much
like
younger in person than in this picture.
Yeah,
This
no,
picture
it's
makes you look like some sort of
What?
I don't even
You're
know.
quite hideous, John. It's horrifying. It's gross.
I don't know if I'll go hideous.
I could just see Tad like starting that sentence, then realizing there was no way of ending it without being grossly offensive, and just kind of like trailing off instead.
I was counting on Alex to come up with the good ending.
No, I think like, in those situations, I love to just like sit silently, and, like watch them dig the hole deeper.
It's like the verbal equivalent of like in Austin Powers when he's trying to turn the cart around in the hallway.
So this is this the 13th sync?
This incorporates 12 and 13.
12 and 13. So,
and if you want to throw dig in there, that makes it 13 and 14.
Yeah, because I was trying to explain this in the previous podcast. I was getting myself all tangled up in knots because there's been 10 issues of Sync, issues 1 to 10. Then we did Dig, which is not included in the totals of Sync. That's like a separate thing. So that was like a one shot. And then came Sync 11, which was technically the 12th Sync story. Right. And then like 12 and 13. So yeah,
I mean,
that is the 13.
We're comics people. We're not required to be able to count.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Amazing Spider-Man #1s have there been?
That's so true. All I need to worry about counting is all my money that comes in from like my glamorous lifestyle making comics. All those $100 bills.
I could draw them for you.
Alex,
yeah, that's I love that old joke. It's for comic artists. It's big house, beautiful women, fancy cars. I could draw them all.
Alex, I remember when I got Dig, I think I even emailed you because it was just so clear how much fun you were having drawing it. It like oozed from the page.
So thank you.
Tell me what it is about this universe that I mean, aside from John's dashing good looks, makes
Of
you
course.
continue.
No, he's
to,
trying to cover his ass after
Yeah,
like,
he's
saying
really
about
trying.
the
This is gonna be the rest of the
last
show.
time. Now he's been pains to like no, John, who's not an ugly freak, who's actually quite good looking.
I only
Unless
said
he
You
your
said in the
body
papers
double
that he
was
did
no
not
good.
call him
You
ugly.
look way better than the body double used for this picture. That's all I said.
Okay.
You gotta buy.
You're not
gotta
ugly now.
pay
You were
for
looking
a
ugly
better
a few
body
years
double
ago.
next
Yeah,
time.
back when you were young and healthy, you were hideous. So I don't know what you're gonna do now.
I'm Benjamin Buttoning it through my career.
I
in comics.
actually, you kind of look like Al Bundy. Yeah, you got an Al
Jesus
Bundy look
Christ.
going on
Al
in this
Bundy.
picture.
Okay, somehow we got back to dragging me. Go back, Alex. Apart from my dashing good looks,
I look gorgeous, though.
that appeals to you.
Yeah. Jesus. What were we talking about? Sync?
We're
Yeah,
talking
oh,
about
yeah.
the brilliance of Sync and what draws you to the project.
Yeah.
My
yeah,
genius.
It's good. I don't know. It doesn't suck. That always helps.
Doesn't suck.
I know. All right. No, honestly, no. What can I say about Sync? I mean, there's so much to it. I love. And there's so much elements, and every issue we can do something different. So it's not just like it's going to be the one note each time. Every issue is going to be, all right, what else are we going to do in this universe? We can explore like almost like a superhero situation. We're going to explore a horror situation. We can explore a comedy. We can do crime. I mean, there's everything we can do in there. There's so many like fun, like quirky things we can do. It's just what's not to love. It's a blast, and I'm so happy and fortunate that John's giving me these stories to draw, and I'm so happy that people are really responding and really liking them. And looking at that picture, yeah, John, you look very good.
I look
Yeah.
white.
Look at you. You're looking sharp. You're looking trim. Yeah. Here.
I don't know. I feel like there's like crow's feet hiding in there. You look much younger on my screen, John.
Do you know, like, all the things I'm self-conscious about? Like, I think, like my shit hairline, my big fat belly. I've never once thought crow's feet, but now I am.
Well,
So
there you go. There's one more for you.
John,
Close feet,
I'm the
John,
one
that's what
with
they call them.
grandkids. So I mean, I'm the old man here.
He's only 22.
And 22 is like a Glasgow 50, though. So
Yep. Yeah. So that's it adds up. The next issue, we're gonna have the supervillain, the crow's foot.
No, I have a
He has
feeling I'm
weapons
going to
inside of
find
his-
myself in a comic book because John decides to have me killed horribly.
I
I'm
would
gonna throw you in
never,
there
I would
with
never kill you in a comic book.
creases.
I'll just kill
Absolute
you.
like Chester
You
Gould.
never
creases
kill me in a
all over
comic book. You just kill me in real life. Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Yeah, so don't worry.
it.
So you take me away from my wife, children, and grandchildren, but you wouldn't even give them a nice picture to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give them to you. Hang on the wall, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
So are you willing to to spoil any of the creative death? Is there anything we should be looking for? That's one of the things I love about when the two of you guys get together. There's always going to be at least one page where I go, who the fuck has that sick of a mind? They're awesome, but really?
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't want to give away like any of the specifics, but there are a couple of cool deaths coming up. But funny enough, this was an interesting kind of like shift in Sync because like obviously like I say, as part of this double bill, like the first chapter is very much kind of like that kind of like fun violence and stuff going on, and like like there's like one like really fun outrageous scene coming up. I'm really excited to see how Alex kind of puts it together. But I would say that like the second story, the kind of like one set like in the 1950s, like that one I quite more so than I normally do for Sync. Like I take the violence in that one quite seriously, and it's actually quite dark and darker than I normally would go in Sync. So I think it's going to be an interesting adjustment for people reading, and hopefully they still stick with us.
After everything, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, no, true.
I mean, what last issue? It was one of the last issues we did murder a kid. So
Yeah. I mean that was like I was talking about like using promo
he's a
images
punk.
like yeah, well we were talking about like ideas for covers for the collection or doing promo images or something, and Tyler had to explain to me that like certain audiences might not like a dead child like lying in a bin bag like is like a good promo image to promote a book. Why
Well,
not?
take the safe road to see where that gets you.
So, how many issues before we get the Chrissy and Mr. Dig just sit down for a cup of coffee in a diner and
A
reminisce
cup of
about
tea.
the
This is
old
in Scotland.
Well, I mean,
maybe a pint and some
I mean,
pie.
like, it might be sooner than you think. That might be an inadvertent spoiler.
Oh, so I don't even have good questions anymore. You guys get me laughing and my brain goes blank. I love
That's
it.
all right. We're just here for the vibes.
That's right.
Um,
That's right. Um, so we're at our second stretch goal, which means
yeah.
that there's a acrylic standee Mr. Dig available. How much is that going to be?
I think. I mean, I've not actually checked. Like, I think it's like an addition that gets added to
Yeah, it says it's
campaign.
an add-on made
Yeah, like past
available.
a certain. I think it's all like physical backers get like that added to their package.
Oh, it's a new
Or I don't know. Maybe I'm
add-on.
not sure.
Ah,
Maybe I'm
no,
misadvertising
I'm
this.
no, I think I see the way I read it. I'm used to add-ons being the things that you gotta pay for. So initially, and every once in a while, the add-ons in campaigns are, if you get to this point, we'll let you spend more money on this.
Yeah, as far as I know that happens quite often, but as far as I know, like Tyler tends to do the thing of like if we reach this level, then everybody gets more rather than everyone gets to
Okay.
pay more. But
I mean,
that's
I don't
the
always mind kicking more money. It's like, oh, now I can buy a T-shirt. Done. I think I had one Kickstarter where my initial pledge was like $17 or something, and I wound up at 95 because they kept adding.
that must be a good campaign.
I was like, yes, please, yes, please.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, what gets me though, like, I kind of miss it. Like, it seems like in recent years, like post like Brexit here in the UK, like international shipping has just skyrocketed. So I really have to be more choosy about like
What you
um
add?
what campaigns like are back physically. Like I'm now if it's a US thing, I'm more likely to back like digitally, which is like
Right.
and I'm terrible. I'm supposed to be a big advocate for digital comics, like but I know often I'll buy a digital comic, then like a year will go by and I haven't read it, and then like I'll see the person at a convention selling the comic that I already own digitally, and I'll buy that comic so that I can actually read it now.
See, my problem is digital sales.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, that compendium's only $4 now. I'll get around to it eventually. Click.
Well, I think it's a shame because like, that's one of the sad things about with Comixology. Like, that always used to be really handy. I think where a lot of times, especially older runs, like let's say I thought, well,
Oh
I've
yeah,
reading like this 60 issue run that the series never
yeah.
got around to, or I'll maybe it's too big of a commitment to pick it up all up on trades, but I can
Right.
buy the set on Comixology.
Yeah.
But like they've essentially Amazon just destroyed Comixology beyond all
They,
recognition. Essentially
they
bought it
they
and broke it.
destroyed it in all of the ways that make them money,
Hmm.
which is what's really infuriating to me because it's like the only part that they truly made harder was finding and buying comics.
Yeah. I mean, like
The
this is.
reading experience is still very similar, but finding and buying comics is way harder. And I'm sitting there going, how is that the right business model?
No, I mean it's
No.
not.
I buy like half as many digital comics as I used to, and you didn't even have to work for it. I'd go like, I feel like something in this genre. I'd hit the genre button and I'd start looking for interesting things that weren't that expensive. And the next thing I knew, I'd spent $50.
Well, it's like the enshittification process where they take things like, that were working perfectly fine and wreck them. But that's one
Right.
of and for me, it's something that's always bugged me is like when I talk about comics, like one of the most simple things I want is whoever the publisher is, I want if someone goes, I want to buy your comic, I want them to be able to pick up the comic. Which is why, like, I love in the kind of the Kickstarter campaigns we do for Sync that there's always that option to kind of get caught up in the older stuff that we're reprinting these older,
Right.
because for me, like, that's when something dies, when like it no
Oh,
longer,
yeah.
when you can't get it anymore.
You at least have to have digital versions of previous
Mhm.
issues available, or
Yeah.
you're eliminating anybody who didn't buy in your case the first 11.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
And it's interesting because obviously like the series is starting to make a bit of a transition now where like in the early couple of volumes we did this thing, the very much the thinking of it was that we were building this around one shots, it was anthology style, and my philosophy was that I wanted the people to be able to go into the comic shop and like pick up the latest issue of Sync and like even if they hadn't read the series, they just like thought the cover looked cool. They could pick this issue up and they could get a full story and they'd be satisfied. And maybe it would make them want to go back and read the earlier stuff, but didn't need to have read the previous stuff for it to like, work. But now now that we're like say like 11 issues in, like 3 volumes in, now we're getting to the stage where all these little threads we've been laying out are starting to kind of come together into something like whole. So I guess getting to the point now where you do have to have that kind of grounding in this world, I think, like, especially for this arc, which is going to be like a multi-part arc. So it feels like, that's kind of a bit of a shift. But the good thing is that the Sync fan base, Sync leadership, like, has been super dedicated, involved, and patient with us at times as well. So like that's like feels like they're on top of things and they're able to keep on, like keeping things up to date.
so I will say that what I am now waiting for though is the oversized hardcover collection.
Right. I mean,
I'll
that's
be
something
all
like
over that.
that's in my big wish list. I think I've talked to Taylor about this as well. Like, for me, like in terms of things that I've never had before, like, in terms of like books that I've had recently, I've never had like an oversized hardcover, which is in like well, I've had it for the standard, but
This size.
yeah.
There you go.
I mean, the closest we had was like yeah.
Or the DC Absolute
So,
Edition.
like we had like like obviously the standard the kind of like hardcover that was the
Right.
first book that I ever did, but the next step up for me is like the omnibus, like the kind of like
Yeah.
big size, like so the absolute with
Yeah.
the slipcase, and like that's the
Yeah.
thing I would love.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've done enough issues to get to that point yet, but for me, like
Getting close.
maybe it'll be when like
12
six will finished, or
like
maybe it'll be when
12
third
to
volume's
18
finished.
is a
But
good saga hardcovers are 18.
Mhm.
All right.
So I mean you're getting there.
Yeah, no, maybe the thing would be like once this volume's finished because we've got I want to make Alex throw up when I say this, but we've got like Sync Monsters, then we've got another Kickstarter coming like later this year,
Like
collecting
right on top of it.
50.
Awesome.
And then like that's good. Then after that's going to be the end of volume 3. So maybe like volume 1, 2, 3, and dig like that's
Perfect.
enough to do like the
That's
first
the perfect
Yeah.
size for a
omnibus.
hardcover. Yeah.
Aye.
That's
Something
the
to think
perfect
about. I
size
mean,
for a
I'm
hardcover.
sure like if you tell Tyler here's a chance to do another cover gimmick, like that'll be like he like sold. So let him know that you want it.
Oh. And I'm still I don't understand how you guys hooked me so much because I'm just not a horror guy. But between John's humor and Alex's just vibrant art, I like you guys. Yeah, you guys could decide to do the dictionary together, and I'd probably buy it.
Well, good news.
Luckily for you.
Can announce our next project is the dictionary.
Okay.
It's
So
spelled DICK.
I need to I need to I'm scrolling down. John, you look incredibly handsome in this one.
You're not letting this go.
It's just the teeny tiny one that's like this one. Great.
Yeah.
You
you
in
don't
person
look like a
here,
mutant
great.
at all in this picture.
No.
I mean, well, then it cracks
Whereas
me up.
Alex's
that
hair
handsome
is
fella.
too short in this one.
Yeah, you know,
The thing that cracks me up, right, is 22 Panels is a podcast, right? It's not a video show.
know.
So everyone listening to this is going to be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Well, this is why they're gonna have to go back to Kickstarter because they
There
need
you
to
go,
see
yeah.
the pictures now.
No. It's going to be like that photo gallery is going to be one of the stretch goals now.
I mean, anything that gets you guys paid, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna shut down the photo gallery right now and like bring it back when you hit another $5,000 after the podcast is
Yeah,
released.
it's going to be like it's an old like 1990s computer with all load up pixelated, like they'll get gradually more like as the campaign funds go up.
Excuse me.
I think I'm killing Alex here.
Oh. How do you get on?
Yeah, God. You guys are just you make me laugh. I run out of questions because you make me laugh.
Oh God. Come on,
And
Tad.
I'm not
great.
allowed
Thanks
to.
for having
I'm
us.
not allowed to ask
It's
good questions.
been
You
goofy,
forbid me to ask about your dreams.
Oh yeah, I don't think I said don't ask him about you.
I didn't. I just said that I wasn't allowed to ask.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just like, you know, like that kind of even puts a pregnant pause and like, you know,
And
yeah.
I didn't even say what kind of dreams I wasn't allowed to ask about.
Yeah, no, this is like going
And
down
I
the hill.
haven't mentioned any classic comic creators.
Yeah. This is like, you know, like Liz Truss, former Prime Minister Liz Truss, and like I didn't kill the Queen, and then like Malcolm, like that makes us kind of think that you killed the Queen.
So did you guys? I mean, I know that Sync is very Glasgow heavy, so I imagine that John came up with
It's a bit.
yeah with most of it. But did you guys work together initially, or was this something that you pitched to Alex? You probably talked about this the last time we talked, but we were also talking about.
But I was so boring, you
Crimson
forgot about it.
Cage.
Yeah.
You just keep looking at
So
your
yeah, like
picture
the
and being
basic.
like, what's wrong with this photo?
I mean, the fun, like, I think I've told some version of this before, like, you know, but obviously me and Alex had worked together on Oxymoron, Loveliest Nightmare, which was a blast. That was with Comics Tribe, and yeah, we had a lot of fun working on it. But ultimately, Oxymoron's Tyler's baby. That's his character, his creation, his world.
Right.
And I thought, so as fun as it was to play like in Tyler's toy box, like we wanted to make our own toy box. So I remember like in that Chicago, the last time we were in Chicago, we were, you know, in 2016, we were sitting in the bus and we were talking about, okay, what are the other things we could do, our ideas, and we're firing ideas and saying maybe this, maybe that. And nothing was quite landing. I'm like, I don't know, you know, so we kind of like, we'll put a kind of a cap on this, maybe we can back to it later on. And it wasn't the one, no, sorry, I tell a lie, it wouldn't have been Chicago, it'd been earlier than that because like by Chicago we already had Sync, they kind of picked
Yeah,
back.
no, it was.
So maybe
I
in
mean,
New York would have been like
it
something
might have been
like
New
that.
York.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, we were talking on Twitter and that type of thing too.
Yeah,
And
um,
because I mean, we had like an idea for like a Final Girl type of
yeah,
story.
River Run Red, that was what it was going to be
Yeah.
called. It would be kind of like
And
this is what everyone was all this like slasher stories up the yin yang now. This was before they were involved, but we were talking about like doing some kind of thing about a former final girl who was like traveling across America from town to town, like killing various like local sort of serial killer slashers.
it was gonna be
But
like a super group like type of thing, but
yeah, then Jess was going to form part of a group of various kind of analogues of like final girls as the last characters in various horror movies. But then we didn't know where the story was going to go from there, and it kind of fell apart. But yeah, so like then like so we kind of tabled that like, and we need to come up with something. Then simultaneous to this, I remember I was talking to Ian Laurie following, and then Emily was gone, and we were talking about like doing like a kind of weird crime thing set in Glasgow, like something that's like kind of Emily was gone style and tone. And then like I think you know the name Sync the meant was like we were thinking like Red Sync or something like this for it, you know. And we never really quite settled on any idea for it, but they kind of like because the thing about Ian Laurie is like, you know, you in any conversation with him, like, you know, that lasts about an hour, like about half a dozen story ideas all fired out, and like Ian is an idea machine where like, you know, he'll come up with something that's the most incredible thing you've ever heard, and you're like, oh my god, Ian, that's amazing. And then like 10 minutes later, you go, remember that idea you just talked about? And he's like, what idea? And then you say, and he goes, no, I'm bored of that now. What's the next thing? And it's like, and then, like, so, but it stayed in my head like a kind of like weird Glasgow kind of crime thing, and that name Sink, and so I ended up kind of like cutting, like thinking I'm no, and I said to Ian like, I think I pitched him. I said I was thinking of doing this thing, like, I was thinking maybe going to Alex Cormack with it, like, and I was saying like I had the idea about the blue van clowns and like Mr. Dig, and I started developing some of these concepts. And I was like, so would you be cool with like me like going off and doing this with Alex Cormack? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't like drawing vans anyway, so that's and then so pitched it to Alex, and Alex did like drawing vans, thankfully, and buses. So then like and the rest is history.
There it is.
So who came up with the fox?
Oh, that was John. That was all
me.
John. Yeah,
I think
John.
again,
John was like, I got this idea for this vigilante guy. He's got a. I mean, John really came up with the whole. He's got a fox mask. He's got like an Under Armour type of like dark, like navy blue, like sweatshirt or something like tight like that, and just the boots and the pants, and he's got a shovel, and I probably didn't add anything. He's just
the
like, draw
idea
that.
you added the beauty and the gore.
Yep.
Yeah, like the like premise of like a fox being like the kind of like mask of choice, because I wanted to have a kind of like visually distinctive character at the start. I wanted to kind of like a kind of like cosplayable, kind of like visually like eye catching. So I thought, let's have some kind of vigilante in a mask, or And then I was thinking, well, what's the theme going to be? And then like the thing about Glasgow is like kind of like the trademark animal of Glasgow pretty much is like the fox, where like all through like the streets, like the area where I live as well, like just foxes just run around everywhere, like they kind of like it's like, and so for me, like I associate like the streets of Glasgow with like foxes running around. So I thought this idea of like the fox is a totem for Glasgow, and like Mr. Dig becomes this person's like taking on this totem. And yeah, that's where the idea of the fox came from. Plus, I
Yep.
just really liked Tails from the Sonic games, so that's maybe the reason.
We all like tails, don't we?
Um, sorry.
You should be.
Does it continue as John scripting and then sending, or do you guys have brainstorming sessions? Alex, do you?
Oh no, John's like
Hey, I
30
like
scripts
drawing
ahead.
something.
Yeah.
He's 30
Oh yeah,
scripts
no,
ahead.
I've written like all of volume 3 and volume 4. Like I've
Yeah.
written 20 issues of Sync, and like
Yeah.
I've also like started like plotting out like the next volume, but I don't want to get too far ahead because I thought let Alex catch up. But I think
So
the thing
in
about
other
Alex,
words, anytime Alex doesn't have something to draw, you have a sync script for him.
yeah, and
Yeah.
when he does have something to draw, I also have a
You
Sync
also have a
script.
sync script for him.
But yeah, like Alex, tell us about this. Like, I know, like, am I correct that you never read ahead? You only like to kind of like, experience it spontaneously. You'll only need a script while you're drawing it. It's going to be in the
Oh
moment.
yeah,
when
yeah,
you're doing it.
yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'll kind of when I first get a script, and in this situation, I have a folder, and it's like you up to like 20 issues, I think, something like that. And like the ones that I'm working on, I'll be uh, I'll skim through it. I'll kind of get a gist of it, and I'll talk to John so I kind of know what to expect. But most of the time, I'm drawing it and putting it as I go, and I'll basically put like the spread together. So I'll think of like what these two pages will look like side by side. But I'm really just focused on those two, not even thinking about what's happening next. And it's luckily for me because it's with John. He knows what he's doing, so I know like every beat, every like everything like that. As long as I just stick with what he wrote, it's going to come out great because I don't have to worry about like, oh, this might be better on a page turn, or this might be this, or what if I move? Like I just, John knows what he's doing, so I'm like, he wrote it. Every time it's good, so let's just keep rocking.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
kind of thing that I like to do. I like to have like, like the page turns planned out. Like it
Yes.
doesn't always work. Hello.
You want to say hi to everybody?
I am Monkey's birthday's coming up.
Monkey's birthday's coming up. Monkey's birthday's coming up.
Woo!
I don't know Monkey. Oh,
This is Monkey.
very cool.
My old
Yeah.
How
friend.
old is he?
How old is
Monkey.
He's gonna be 7.
He's gonna be 7 years old.
Happy birthday, Monkey.
Gotcha.
He's never had a birthday before. Every
But it's gonna
single
be a 7.
year we forgot it.
Oh.
When is his
That
birthday?
happened to me as well when I was a kid.
We
Yeah.
forgot about a birthday. So now we can.
When is his birthday?
All right.
And I've had 7 years of having Monkey.
But when
Alex,
is the
I have
birthday?
to ask
Close the door, bud. Close the door.
Alex,
I
when
have
is
to
the
ask that
birthday?
question. Alex, what happened? Where did this young man come from? Like, what happened to that like photo that used to be around?
I was,
He's going up so fast.
actually, John, you'll like this because we've been calling him Cuddly Monkey solely from Hot Fuzz. So I don't know if you remember, like he wins, and you win the Cuddly Monkey, and that so we've been calling it Cuddly Monkey after that.
Oh. Any Hot Fuzz reference, I'll appreciate. Yeah, I was talking about page turns and stuff. Like, I definitely try whenever I'm writing a script. Like, I try and think of including think about the page turns and having a big shot reveal or a big moment happen on an even numbered page, so that it's the reader will turn the page and it'll land that way. It's little things like that can help with the pacing. But much like Alex says, to sort of he can trust me and my scripts. I know I can trust his art. I mean, I've made this joke before, but it's got to the point now that any project I come up with, the default in my head is I'll imagine it as drawn by Alex, and I have to actually train myself to sometimes think of other artists, because Alex just has such a kind of great style, that kind of really tailors my personality and my tone. So I think we're kind of in sync. No, pun in sync. I think we're in sync.
So
in terms
which
of,
which one of you is?
Thank you, John.
I don't remember the members.
You don't know Justin Timberlake?
Oh, Timberlake. Which one of you is Timberlake, and which one of you is all of the other guys?
I'm the one that had the big square head. What was his name?
Oh my god, where's my wife? She'll know.
Leatherface, I think his name was.
I don't know. I don't know.
That should be a bonus or something. A stretch goal. It should be N sync, SINK. It could be
all right. We're
doing
looking it up. The members of NSYNC are.
Ashley's been pitching that joke for years.
Justin Timberlake.
Members of NSYNC, but into a bunch of clowns to say NSYNC.
I think I stole it from Ashley. Actually, I think without realizing it.
JC
This is 50% of writing, Tad, is stealing ideas without realizing you've stolen it because you just absorb it into your brain and then that's my idea.
I mean, you were describing hack slash earlier, so I mean, I figured.
I'd never read hack slash until
you haven't read hack slash. Hack slash is totally a book for you, but it's
I've heard after the fact, that has a lot of stuff that I thought would have been a great original idea, but hack slash has done it already.
You guys are both students of film and comics, so let's just do some random questions. John, tell me a comic that you wish you'd written.
This is difficult. I'll tell you, I was reading, I could probably name a number one of comics, but I remember one of the last times I was reading something and getting that jealous feeling, I wish I'd written this, was 20th Century Boys, the manga series.
Yeah.
It's I started getting that over lockdown, in 2020. I started reading that and I became obsessed with it, I think, and then it became my favorite comic. And it's one of those things where a lot of times you'll just read something and appreciate oh, this is well done. I was reading this and I was literally going I wish it was me writing this because it's just such a good idea and it's done so well.
As you bring that up, we read Asadora, Tyler and I, for the show, and covered it over.
I'm a bit behind. I think I'm on volume 4 of that. I just started volume 4, but I like what I've read.
We're up to date because we did we did weekly when we did it initially, and then we've taken a break from whatever else we're doing. Every new volume that's come out and read it and talked about it the following Saturday. So thank you for that. Now my spin-off question, Alex, have you read 20th Century Boys?
I haven't. I read John recommended me when he was reading it, and
then my initial spin-off won't work as well, because I was going to ask if John had written 20th Century Boys, how would you have illustrated it? What would have been different?
I was also great.
I would illustrate it amazingly. Yeah.
Well, duh.
I would illustrate it like I illustrate everything else. You know,
Definitely.
What does it say in the script? Draw that. Okay.
Generally speaking, like, it's weird. Like, for the most part, I don't read comics and think, I wish I'd written this comic. For me, it's I'll watch a film or I'll watch a TV series and go, I wish I'd come up with this as a comic. That tends to be the most common thing.
Okay. Yeah. That was literally my next question.
Yeah. Well,
what's something from another medium that, like, if somebody gave you the opportunity to adapt it, you'd jump on?
No, I don't know about adapting. Like, it's more like I wish I could erase it from history so that I could be the one that made it.
That works too.
But I mean, like, there's so many, because I kind of think that all the time. But like, I'll just give you one, because I'm just after I just finished watching it. I'm rewatching it like just before this interview, which was The Kid Detective. That for me, like, is an incredible movie. And it's such a great concept, and it came out like in 2020, like right during lockdown time, so it kind of got buried and forgotten about a little bit. But I think it's going to get a big cult following, like, as time passes, because it's like really clever. And I'm not, if anyone who doesn't know, The Kid Detective is like about as we suggest, like a former kid detective who was just kind of like Nickelodeon style, like high schooler who solved like mysteries. And then his life got ruined because it was like an actual case, like a proper serious high stakes case about this missing girl that he was never able to solve, and it ruined his life. And now it's like fast forward, like he's in his 30s and he's still like solving like petty little cases for high schoolers, like, you know, like some like some like student going to his like office and like, you know, like Billy, like, you know, Madison or Madison, but Billy, like, I've recall, you know, like said that he played for the Mets over the summer. Did he play for the Mets? And like the guy's like, no, he didn't. You know, and it's like, and then this girl walks into his office and is like, my boyfriend was murdered. I need you to solve it. And it becomes like, you know, he has to do another real case now. And the whole thing is like set in this kind of surreal world. It's like a Nickelodeon 90s TV show that were, you know, that stayed on 20 years past its expiration date, and the sets are all kind of rotten now. Like, and it's just such a great, cool concept, and I wish I'd done it.
I'm gonna check that out. When you started saying that, I literally,
that movie. I literally just bought it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well done.
I literally just bought it.
Yeah. You're in for a treat. One of my ultimate dreams is for Abe Applebaum from The Kid Detective to show up in the next Knives Out sequel, the crossover with Benoit Blanc.
So, Alex, what would you love to draw? You can either erase the movie from existence, or you can just adapt it. Up to you.
Oh, you know what?
Novel, but you guys tend to be more movie guys. You know, you talk to me a ton about comics and movies that you've read. I guess John talks Shakespeare too.
Yeah. Well, what was that? The movie that just came out. I'm blanking on the name, but the Dimitri, the movie that just came out. It was about like the ship that brought Dracula over from Tasmania to. Yeah. What was it?
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, so I remember seeing that and being like frustrated, be like, oh, it's like what they did with Alien. It's a haunted house story, but they can't go anywhere. They're stuck in the middle of the ocean. And I was like, oh man, it's like that time period is always so much fun to draw, and it's
oh yeah, like
I was like, oh, I wish I thought of that. Like, and not even like a thing. I just like the idea of like stuck out in the ocean.
Like nautical stories, like stories set on like boats, like Master and Commander and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for nautical horror. Like for me, like the best TV show of the past decade was The Terror.
That's one I gotta sit down and watch. That's one I heard. I never saw an advertisement. I never saw anything about it. I kind of heard it through the grapevine, and I was like, how did this like yeah, how did I miss that one? What's that? You just posted it the other day, and I finally like pulled the pin and finally bought it. The wager.
The book, The Wager,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
about the mutiny that happened like
right, yeah,
90.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Because
great. It's just like it reads like a true crime thriller, like but like it's like set like way back in the olden days,
because I didn't know that was the guy that wrote the Scorsese movie.
Yeah, Killers the Foreman, and
Because
apparently like Scorsese and DiCaprio have also bought the rights to adapt this.
oh, did they? Oh, great.
Yeah,
Because I loved Lost City of Z that he did,
yeah,
but
yeah. Like,
and then like when the movie came out, I was just like, and that's another one I wouldn't mind tackling that one. But
you kind of have in a way, like because I remember when Rich pitched when he first told me about not Sea of Sorrows, Breath of
Breath of
Shadows.
Shadows, yeah.
I was like, this really has good like Lost City of Z vibes, and I told him he had to go watch the movie like to get in the mindset for it because it's really kind of a good
Oh
comparison.
yeah, because at that point especially, I mean, I was gobbling that stuff up. I read like Lost City Z. There was like a Jungle of Stone, the City of the Monkey Guy, like a bunch of like we're lost in the jungle and we're trying to find something either connected to Aztecs or Mayans or the Incas or something. And normally it doesn't end well. There was a great Livingston one. It was the story of Stanley and Livingston. It was fantastic. It was like into Africa. And like there was the intro to that. I was like, I would love to do a story just of it was I'm gonna blank on their names. I want to say Speak and somebody else, but I'll go read the book. but I remember like thinking like it was like the first like 10 pages like, oh, this could be a series right here and give me that one too. But yeah, so anyways, for dream projects like my for me at least, yeah, like dude, we gotta do a nautical horror story at some point.
Yeah. I've been developing some stuff, so we should have it.
Well, there was like two other projects. I'm not gonna say what they were, but I wish those things kind of clicked.
Yeah, no, like that's like half the story of like making comics is like coming up with like
Yeah,
cool shit
that's
that
true.
nobody ever sees because it never gets
Yeah.
picked up.
Because I know like both those I love those ideas, but anyways.
Well, if we happen to have any publishers listening and or anybody who just has a lot of money that they want to give to John and Alex to
Preferably the second.
make comics.
I mean, I'll take money. I don't mind.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm eager to sell out.
It's not selling out. It's feeding your family while making art.
Sure. Yeah. If that's what I'll tell myself as I put myself to sleep at night.
I sell it.
I get piles of money.
I'm happy to sell it. I'll sell it every single store. Bonanza sale.
You guys did fantastic work adapting Macbeth. John, I know you're the Shakespeare guy. Do you have any other Shakespeare ideas?
Well, for the this is like going back to kind of like things that could have been. Following up from the Crimson Cage, I actually put together a whole pitch package for a follow-up project called King's Road, and it was going to be a retelling of Hamlet set in like the backdrop of 1990s Japanese wrestling.
That'd be awesome.
And I was really pleased with the kind of stuff. I was thinking it was really cool, really ambitious. Like had a lot of like cool like sort of cultural like touchstones. Obviously, it was adapting Hamlet, but was also kind of very much playing on the lines of The Bad Sleep Well, which was like a kind of like loose Hamlet adaptation that Akira Kurosawa did in the 60s, and it was kind of like a lot of like 90s like Japanese like Yakuza movies. Was that aesthetic was going to be going into it, and I think I was like also like obviously like tying into like the rich tradition of like King's Road style wrestling from like 1990s All Japan, and like I was really pumped about this idea, and I pitched it on to AWA, but AWA like had to pass because they'd already commissioned another Hamlet story at this point. I think it's called Tragic, so like alas we couldn't do it.
I mean, I feel like there's room for two Hamlet stories.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Dante's Peak Volcano type thing, or the Armageddon Deep Impact.
Yeah.
For that matter, even as you were just telling me about the kid detective, I was sitting there going, this is a similar premise, but taken in different directions from Friday, the Brubaker Marcos Martin book.
Yeah, no, definitely
And
similar.
it can't possibly be they copied each other because they came out pretty much at the same time.
Just this, sometimes ideas occupy the same space, and I like. It seems to be my great superpower, as a writer is I'll think up something and go, no one's really doing this thing, and I think I've got a real niche in the market for this, and then like I'll spend like 2 years trying to get it picked up, and by the time it finally gets picked up and gets released, it'll get released just after like half a dozen other people have done the same thing. And and everyone goes, "Oh, I see he was following that trend."
So what you need to do is work that into convincing the money that you're the seer.
Yeah.
And whatever idea you have, even before you're done fleshing it out, they need to be looking for that idea all over the place and giving you a commission on every one that they buy.
That's what I should do, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always on top of the zeitgeist.
I'm always like, on top of and a little behind the zeitgeist.
Well, I lead and follow. I mean, I
No
feel like you're
Ouroboros will
calling
call it.
yourself slow here, but I don't want to. I don't want
Times
to
have
cast
flat.
aspersions.
Albert, that's what it says in my business card.
Um, the Nasty is wrapping up. A couple more issues.
Yep. Issue 7 comes out. I'm not sure when this is going live, but at the time of speaking, it's going out next week. Comes out Wednesday,
it should go
28th.
live tomorrow. That's
Okay.
how fast Tyler normally works.
Wow, you're a
So next week.
well-lived machine. You got the Nasty comes out issue 7 on Wednesday, the 28th of February, and it's an 8-issue series. So the final part will be coming out in March, and then we've got the collection coming out, I believe, in May, I want to say. I don't want to commit to that, but I think it's May.
Because we were just talking about its solicitation.
Yeah. So yeah, like they're actually been a lot of fun to work on, like, and it's been like for me, like I think I was saying, like, if there's anything like that's even more personal to me than Sync, it would be the Nasty in terms of like how much it's tied into like my childhood, and it like obviously like not entirely the same, but like there's a lot of like autobiographical stuff in the Nasty in terms of like that kind of like love of horror growing up, and I just thought I wanted to kind of convey that in story form. Like, I think a lot of people were expecting this to be more horror than it was, but I think like it's a lot more kind of like a coming of age type story. There's like comedic elements to it and stuff. But this chapter that's coming up, chapter 7's probably when all the horror elements really come to head, and it's probably the closest the series gets to outright horror. Before we kind of like rally things up for the finale.
Very cool. And Alex, you have Ghosts on the Water from Scout and The Devil That Wears My Face from Mad Cave running. So, I mean, we were talking before we went on the air. I don't know how you find the time to do all of this drawing.
Well, I got it's you just have to, it's but no, yeah, well, Ghost on the Water was drawn maybe if it wasn't last year, it was the year before. Okay, so that's already been in the can for a little while.
Okay.
And as far as Devil Wears My Face, I mean, I'm in the middle of coloring the last issue. Like today, I was working on it. Like I got like
issues is that
6 issues.
Okay.
And like I have, and in my head, I'm like, all right, I still got 8 more pages to go. And I know I gotta get cracking on that tomorrow. And at the same time, I'm working on more sync stuff and all that. So yeah, no, I always got like because like Devil Wears My Face and Drive Like Hell, I was drawing both those at the same time. So I'll draw one issue, jump over to the next issue, then jump over to this issue, then jump over to this issue.
Draw like one in different hands, at the same time.
Yeah, just then.
I mean, that would be convenient if you actually. I imagine it that you draw with one hand and ink with the other, or maybe color with the other, just to make it. I mean,
I think the most amount of books I had going at the same time was 5, but that was let's see, that was Oxymoron, Future Proof. I Play the Bad Guy, 2 Redheads and a Dead Blonde, and something else.
How have I not heard
something else from like
Redheads and a Dead Blonde before?
Oh, that's an oldie. Yeah, that's
that's not even listed on your League of Comic Geeks page. Tell me about that, because that sounds
Everything's
cool.
listed in
Yeah,
the
that might have. I don't even know if we got a publisher for that one. Yeah, that was that was a local writer. And geez, yeah, we that was about a decade ago now. But yeah, no, it was a kind of a detective story where this guy was dating this blonde lady. She ends up dead, and he's got to figure out who killed her. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. But that was like a zillion years ago and all that. And it's one of those like, yeah, flipping through it, I'm like, oh, it's like I would have drawn this differently, this differently, this differently. But yeah, that's the name of the game. Yeah, but as far as yeah, no, it's I mean, you gotta, it's like that's the thing with especially freelance, jumping around, not working for a specific company or anything, like going from book to book. It's always a matter of, all right, the book's done, I finished it. Shit, I have no work to do, and I got bills. What else we got? And then you jump on the next one. But yeah, that's just that's the job. You always got to have something on the back burner. It's nice having about like 500 issues of Sync that I still got to draw.
No pressure.
It's job security, John.
I'm sorry. I just managed to find at least a place to look at parts of Two Redheads and a Dead Blonde.
Oh yeah, it's very R-rated, by the way.
But if you've been googling Two Redheads and a Dead Blonde on Google, might be getting in trouble.
Yeah, feel free to do not safe for work on top of
that. So wait a minute. So is it? Oh, I see. So what it is the author did 2 books, and then you adapted one to comics?
Yeah, so I think he's maybe at 4.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. There are 2
Lloyd,
on that river site, plus the adaptation of Two Redheads and a Dead Blonde, which of course that's the one that I can't buy right now.
I might have a copy of that around. I'll yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I just
hard to keep track of your old comics. I remember there was times when I was thinking I'm never going to get through all of my copies of the standard or whatever, and then that's like a kind of like lost item or whatever.
Well, yeah, I remember like when I first started, like I had 2 8-page stories that I was able to wrangle up for the Poe Twisted anthology, and I remember drawing those in the summer and thinking like 8 pages, I'm going to do this. But knowing like, all right, about like 5 years, I'll be like 8 pages, no problem. But well, the standard was no joke either.
It's weird when you hit that point in your career when you realize you've got too much stuff and you can't have all of your stuff on your table and you have to start snipping older things off.
No. I was just about 5 minutes ago. I said, John, we need to do another book. Yeah, my problem is like oh great, there's I'm gonna another story. What the hell am I gonna draw this thing? But
I've got you booked until you're 50 now, so
that's fine with me. I'm happy to draw thing until
I was talking like to Tyler, not your Tyler James at Comics Tribe, about like the kind of release schedule that I have envisioned for like the upcoming volumes of Sync, leading up to like at least going through the ones that I've written, like leading up to like the stuff coming up. I was like, my God, this takes me to like 41, like my God, I'm planning my future right here.
Yeah, that's all right. So I look forward to.
So, favorite comics reads recently?
Oh, recently.
Well, since the last time I asked you favorite comics reads, which I don't.
Emily Carroll's A Guest in the House.
Oh, that was so good.
Horror. It's like Emily Carroll's like the master of comics horror, one of the masters of comics horror. This is genuinely eerie and like just kind of like watching a master just like playing with the form and doing amazing stuff. So that was stunning. One of my favorite comics that I'm reading right now in terms of like monthly releases is an IDW series called The Hunger in the Dusk.
Oh yeah, G. Willow Wilson, Chris
Yeah, and
Wild
yeah, Chris
Goose.
Wildgoose's art is just
Yeah,
stunning. I'm in a real
yeah.
fantasy kick right now. I have been for a while now. I think weirdly enough, I think I started with video games and stuff like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate. But like also like with some movies and TV and stuff like that. And like I'm really kind of like in a fantasy headspace at the moment. And I think like that, there's been a lot of really good fantasy comics out lately, but I think my favorite of the
There
bunch
have
has
been.
been Hunger of the Dusk. Like,
Hunger
it
and
just
Dusk is
looks
really, really
stunning.
good.
I love the characters. I love the ensemble that's getting built up that you really care about these people.
Yeah,
And yeah, great stuff. It feels like this is the kind of book that if it came out in the 90s, like there'd already be like an action figure line out,
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
like so yeah, it's like, I'm really enjoying that. And like I think that this one of these books again, if it came out like 20 or even 10 years ago, you'd be like, this would run for like 50 issues. But now I don't know how long it's gonna go for, but I hope it's for a while because like
Well, that
six issues
I
in.
know they have the next arc planned.
Yeah.
So
And like once that
fingers
volume one
crossed.
comes out, that's going to be a gift I'm getting for a lot of my friends. Like
Right.
coming
Yeah.
up in the holiday season. Alex, you'll be getting a copy.
Alex just grabbed a book.
Yeah, oh yeah. So this is I just read this one. This is
Oh,
Yellow Cab by
yes.
Christophe
Christophe Chebut.
Chabut. Yeah, this is yeah, he's one of my favorite artists.
I love Christophe Chebut.
I think this one's like maybe a couple years old now, but
Sounds I thought it was last year. I think it's last
was it
year.
last year? Well, I
Either,
know, like I
either
remember
early last year or
a
late
French version was
2022.
older, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, so just read that. Don't Spit in the Wind from Mad Cave. I've been enjoying that.
I'd
Also,
say
at the same
maybe
time,
putting out some killer stuff lately.
They have.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, they're killing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and including a book called "The Devil That Wears My Face," which is
Well, yeah, I don't share with the artist in that one, but other than that, really good.
but also, yeah, along with that, I've been looking at a bunch of like old Shaolin Cowboy Jeff Darrow books,
Okay.
and yeah, and gonna pick up what was it, 21st Century Boys or whatever it is,
20th Century
Yeah.
Boys.
20th Century Boys. Yeah, I gotta sit down and read that thing. I gotta look at more manga. I've only really know Junji Ito, and so yeah, that's a whole world that's
But yeah, no, like there's like
still
so much
relatively
like now Kurosawa alone is like pretty like three of my favorite comics like 20th Century Boys, Monster, and Pluto are like
I love Pluto.
the three. And actually this last is like less known than his other series, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's this book called Master Keaton, and the premise
heard-
of it is
I've been meaning
it's
to read that. It looks really good.
yeah, it's like this like guy like who dreams of being like an archaeologist but can't get any jobs as an archaeologist, so he kind of works as like a lecturer who moonlights as a kind of like sort of insurance fraud investigator. And in this kind of like scenario, he gets involved in all these kind of like increasingly outrageous cases, and he has this kind of like complex background. He used to be in the army and stuff like this. So the whole thing is it's all like one shots and standalone stories. It's like Columbo or something, where there's a new mystery every time, and he has to come in and solve it. And it's just like great, kind of like self-contained, super kind of fun stories. And like something that I've been pitching lately, in a totally different genre. But I like said, like the comic that is closest to in terms of what I imagine I want to go for and doing it is like Master Keaton. So yeah, definitely highly recommend that as well. But other manga, more recent manga, I've been enjoying a series called Frieren Beyond Journey's End, which is kind of downbeat, but not as much as you'd think from the synopsis. It's another fantasy thing, and basically the premise of it is it's like this kind of fantasy group of adventurers who the beginning of the story they've just like saved the world. It's like the end of the Lord of the Rings, essentially. Like they've killed the big bad guy, they've saved the day. Like everyone thinks they're a big hero, and then following on from that, it's just the passage of time, and it's like following like the elf from the group, Frieren, as like the decades pass and all of our friends like grow old and die one by one, like and the world starts to forget them, and it's like her like going around this landscape, like like trying to find what the purpose of her life is when all of our people who like were part of like her defining period of her life are no longer here anymore. And it's actually really kind of like quite sweet and yeah, good stuff.
Sounds great. Anything else for you, Alex?
No.
My books.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. No.
One last thing I'm going to throw out, if only because yesterday I sat in on a web seminar on making comics accessible for the blind or low sighted. That dealt with it highlighted a couple different ways of doing the audio, but also the Sandman audio play on Audible was brought up, which I love, and I love to listen to it and watch or not watch, look at the pictures while listening to it rather than trying to do the pictures and the words all together. I get to use different senses, and I love that experience. If you ever considered what an audio version of Sync or any of your other work might be like, do you do audio books? Is that something that has even crossed your mind?
I think it's
It would be
difficult.
tricky for me, but yeah.
It's difficult because like I think like
It's absolutely difficult because
because like
comics are visual media.
yeah, I mean because comics is inherently visual medium. I think like if you
Right.
were presenting a comic for the blind that would be adapting it into essentially a different medium. So essentially what you would have to do
Right.
is you would have to take Sync and adapt it essentially into prose or into like a novel format, which could then be like read as like an audiobook. Like that's what you'd have to do. Essentially it'd be like 2 degrees of adaptation rather than like
Right.
unless it's like, what was that movie like, where like, like the guy was reading like comics to his kid as a bedtime story and he was describing like, and then like so and so like punches so and so in the face and does this, and, like, and that's not like,
Well, I mean, you could do some like old like Golden Age Stan Lee, early Stan Lee stuff, like where they basically describe what's going on in each panel with every panel description. That might
maybe I
work.
just like read my scripts and just read the panel descriptions out.
You do that too, yeah.
I mean, that seems like the more boring version.
Even though that's kind of like selling short the intense excitement that's packed
Well,
into my
actually,
script.
what I mean, and
Which you can
I,
find out when you get the next milestone in the Sync Monsters Kickstarter.
Yeah, there you go.
the three versions that they shared, and Alex, I think you've read the book because it was actually Nick Susanis, and they used part of Unflattening, which of all of the things to try to do audibly, that's not one of the books that I'd go after right away, because it's a dense book, but they they had one person essentially adapt it like you were talking, where they tried to catch the feel without necessarily being strictly descriptive. And then they had Susanis do it, and he kind of caught the feel, but also would give insight into how he made his decisions. So it was almost like the director's cut. And then they had a company that actually did like movie description stuff. And I thought it was really interesting. When I listened to them, I immediately went, well, my perfect version would be some mixture of the adaptation and the director's commentary. And having it like just straight descriptions didn't work that great. But it was interesting to me that the blind and low sighted that were involved in the panel thought similarly. So I guess where I'm going here is, how much do you think of the mood that you're setting and how it can be interpreted when you're writing, when you're drawing?
I think like it's like I like you say, like it's like, I do get the kind of merits of like kind of like selling like a vibe of something or kind of like an aesthetic or something, a mood of something rather than just like going this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens.
Right.
But again, when you do that, I kind of feel like it's not necessarily like a comic anymore. It becomes a new
No,
thing.
I was bringing it back to just creation when you're
Yeah.
making your comics. What I mean, obviously you're telling a story, and obviously Alex is taking your story and making it visual. But how much do you focus on just the vibe that you set rather than specifically the plot elements and the character development? I
Oh,
mean,
okay. So like, so in terms of like
Yeah.
for me to make that, I don't even know. I would say like for me, I like I know like some people like to go quite broad and go, I just want to set a mood that the artist can vibe off of, but I kind of like to be quite specific with what I'm doing. I like to kind of think of it, like for me, like when I'm writing a panel description, what I'm thinking is I'm trying to kind of write something that the artist, Alex or whoever it is, will picture in their head. So I want to give them as full a picture as possible, to then hopefully like, carry that through into the visuals. So I'll break down like the kind of beats and the kind of like I'll often like try and create a mood and an atmosphere as well. Like, if I'm wanting the scene to be funny, I'll try and write stuff that will make Alex laugh. Like, if I'm wanting the scene to be tense, like, I'll try and convey tension and like, myself, and I do hopefully like that kind of like mood carries across. But like I do like to be descriptive as well, and I like to kind of like fill in all the details, that are required there.
Alex, when you have that detail, how do you visually create tension?
How do I visually create tension? Well, I mean, it depends what's going on in the scene, and I mean, it it depends. It depends what's going on. Like for example,
Right.
in Sync 5, right? There's a scene where oh god, John, I'm blanking on her name. What's
Emma?
Emma? Thank you. So when she goes sees Simon Creedy like at his house, and we're kind of meeting him for the first time. I remember really trying to be conscious like of um just attention going on there because he seems like he's making like flapjacks, whatever he was doing, and he
Rocky
kind of
Road.
like what's that?
It was Rocky
Oh,
Road he was
it was
making.
Rocky Road, yeah. So, but like, so you kind of like, okay, you're kind of getting the idea of like, oh, maybe like this was all built up to he's all right, he's making Rocky Road, but you don't know that right, and you kind of want to have this kind of like, are we cool? Are we not cool? Like kind of going back and forth on that line, um, and and the blunt way I did that was just making the room just like basically neon red, just so it's kind of beating down on them. And like doing this whole The Shining bathroom type of scene. So I mean, there's tricks like that you could do to add some tension, like make it the room claustrophobic, make them not be able to get out. Camera angles, high, low, that all means something. Shading, shadows. There's a zillion
So,
ways to do it.
yeah,
It
John.
all depends on the scene. I mean, you could do for
No,
crying out loud. Hitchcock did attention when an open field with just a plane flying around.
right.
You know,
Um,
so
no, no, no.
it's all about the
Yeah,
story.
didn't mean to totally put you on the spot like that. I'm just trying to pick at the way you two work together because I know John can be really descriptive, but if you're talking about camera angles, I mean, so John, are you putting camera angles in? Do you leave
Well,
Alex the
and
space for angles
I think that's
and
something I kind of like. My earliest scripts, if you look at my earliest stuff that I did back, like, when I was starting out in comics, I would write like long shot, medium shot, close up,
okay,
yada, yada, yada. Now, like, I won't necessarily say the specific angle, like, unless it's like I want to kind of like hone in a particular character and I'll say focus on this character. But generally speaking, I'll just like describe the scene and like, like let Alex come at it from whatever angle like will best
right,
suit him. Um, but there are some times and I'll say like, oh, I want to invoke like the feeling of like this scene, or maybe like give a referencing. I think at one point, like, and I have these most obscure, like random ass things I'm wanting to like reference as well. Like I think I think I've referenced like the kind of Exorcist 3 corridor jump scare at one point, like, as a reference point. And it was like one thing I was like, there's this scene in like the Japanese Ring 2 where a character walks into their apartment and like Sadako's like hands are clinging on to like the edge of the windowsill, but you don't see this right away, like it's just there. Then like it zooms in on it, like eventually you realize, and it's like, and so I have like descriptions like I want to kind of like create that kind of vibe here, and I sometimes do that, but no, I don't like say like micromanage and go, oh, this has to be like zoomed into this degree, then you look over their shoulder, then you do that. Like, unless it's like for a specific plot reason where it needs to be mentioned like that. No, I generally like to let the artist do what they want to do with it.
Okay. Do you give them a number of panels for the page?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you give them a general layout of those panels, or is it kind
No,
of
no,
hits
no. For me, like the thing is like number of panels is going to dictate like, the pace of the page. Like oftentimes, like if you've only got like 3 or 4 panels, that creates something a bit more slower and expansive and kind of like lets the scene breathe a little bit. But if you've got like 7 panels on a page, it's going to like do, and it's going to be like more kinetic and moving faster. So yeah, and like even the breaking up of the dialogue and stuff, like if you like having like a character say, I don't know, right, I guess I'll leave then. In one panel is going to be different from someone saying right, and then like a beat, and then the next panel going, I guess I'll leave then. Like,
right?
it's like little things like that, like, like that'll make a difference. So yeah, like I do that, but in terms of like the layouts and stuff like that, again, unless it's like something like very specific to the plot, or unless me saying something general, like I imagine this being the dominant image of the page, like no, I don't say like have 3 panels in one line and 2 panels in the other line, anything like that. I like to let the artists compose that themselves.
That was what I was guessing. I just wanted to make certain because Alex has been like going nuts about I just draw what he tells me to. So
Yeah, no,
Alex,
that it makes it seem like I'm a computer, like an abusive kind of like
well, it also
I don't
deflects.
want him to hurt me anymore. I just do it. I'm told.
It also, I
John,
mean,
please stop, John.
both of you have become creators that I automatically read, and that's way more common for writers than artists. But I get as excited, or possibly more so. No offense, John, when I see that Alex has another book out.
Thank you.
So I know that that's not.
What's this show about? First, I get my looks insulted, and then told, oh, you're not even
make
that
you
good,
stay up
Alex.
wicked late at
Well,
night, John.
well, Alex
We're
is
gonna-
already in the 5-timer club. When you come back next
That's what I
time,
From familiarity breeds contempt, clearly.
Jeez, I still like you, John.
Thank you, Alex.
John, I think it actually has way more to do with the shortage of artists that I automatically want to read their stuff. I mean, there may be 5 artists versus like 50 writers. Does that make sense?
I will say that like Alex is someone who's an artist too. Like even when he's not working with me, like he's someone I automatically want to read if he's doing something because he's great.
And that's what I'm saying. Because I don't. I think it's because I don't think in pictures. I think in words, and because I've always been a writer with like no artistic talent, or at least very little artistic talent. My wife, the art teacher, insists that I have some. I don't know if I believe her, but
That's not the joke. Just a bunch of
I
lines.
generally am drawn to writers, so it's more jarring to me when I have an artist that I found myself so drawn to. So Alex, how much time do you spend deciding what a page should look like? I mean,
I'll
does
do
it tend to come naturally to you, or do you have to noodle with it?
No, it honestly it comes pretty naturally. It'll come pretty quick. So for example, like script will be like panel 1, the guy walks in the room, panel 2, the second guy walks in the room, panel 3, they discuss, panel 4, the other guy uppercuts him, panel 5, the guy's on the ground and the other guy leaves, right? So thinking of that,
There are
You know, all
1,000
right, so
ways to lay out 5 panels.
yeah, so yeah, so like something like that. If that's a scene, I'm thinking, all right, if your big shot here, you kind of want to show off the guy getting punched, because that's the most. You don't want to put that on a small panel. That's the biggest thing is about to happen in this scene. So that's probably gonna be your biggest panel, and yeah, and I'll sketch it out very loosely by hand. I used to do them like real big. Now I just kind of have them just like in a little notebook, and yeah, I'll just kind of cartoon style them out, and almost like step up from stick figures, basically. Yeah, I'll just kind of figure it all out, and then what I've been doing is I'll then actually get up and kind of act it out. So I kind of get like, okay, so if he's coming in, he would actually do this instead of the way I was thinking about drawing it. So I'll make sure to draw like that. And what I'll do with like photo booth on the computer, I'll actually tape myself doing this, and then go back to through that tape and use that as like reference. And yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just bring it out, and like I said, I'll try to work as the spread. So like, when you open up the comic, the left page isn't like completely like doesn't work well with the right page, and sometimes that works well with like, oh, maybe we could do like a spread, like a 2-page double page spread here, and then sometimes not. But yeah, no, I'll just sketch it all out and just get right into it.
It's been
with all these years of watching TV and looking at comics, it's all kind of ingrained in there. So
it's been a while since we talked specifically, but if I recall correctly, you do your basic loose pencils traditionally and then go digital from there.
Yeah, so I did that, especially I've stopped doing that. I just do it all digitally now.
Okay.
But yeah, I used to like just do the whole big page, and
right.
And then I would bring those to like cons and try to show those off. But yeah, these days I'll just do like a little doodles like in a little sketchbook, or I'll even just draw it like the little layout in the computer.
Okay.
Just do it quick.
And then as you're doing it digitally, you do the
spread. But yeah, but I'm drawing it. So yeah, so when I'm drawing in Flash, or it's Animate. Right. It's been Animate for like 10 years now, but right. Which is like anybody who remembers when YouTube was brand new, remembers those old Flash cartoons, and that's what I draw, and then I'll do all the line work there, chuck that into Photoshop, and then add like special effects, as I always call them, like so gray tones, shading, all that type of stuff. And then I'll send that over to John and be like, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? And John will yell at me and scream and, use a lot of Scottish terms that I don't understand. So I just go from there.
Usually scream, cry, and ejaculate all at the same time.
Yeah. You just assume that they all mean good things.
By the way, John, I believe that's the title of our next round after the monsters.
Scream, cry, and ejaculate.
Coming soon.
All right.
It's not a question of why you fuck, man, kill.
It's getting really late for John, so I've got a last question.
So I got 30 more questions.
No.
I've got 17 more questions.
It's essentially the same question for both of you, but we're gonna flip it around. The question for Alex is: have you ever gotten a script and just gone, "Holy fuck, this is amazing"? You already know it's going to be amazing, but like hit that page where you're like, I have to wrap my head around how to draw this because this is so amazing that I have to knock it out of the park. And specifically, what
like a specific page or like a specific book?
Whichever works best. Page, segment, scene, whatever.
For example, I'll do a kind of a newer one. I know in Dig, that whole fight scene, like I was like, I can't wait to get my hands on this.
That shows that I think was specifically what I wrote you about him. Like Alex, this fight scene, he just shows that you were like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I have to,
So it was great because I had just so the scene specifically like when they're in the tall grass. I had just like before like looking at the script on that, I think I just saw Onibaba. I think that's what it's called, right? And I just watched that movie and I was like, oh, this is like a great, like it's old Japanese horror movie. And gee, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm gonna be embarrassed if I'm not. But the whole thing is like they're like it's these women that are this like live in basically this tall grass and attack these like samurai basically that are trying to travel through. And I was like, oh, what a cool idea! This tall grass, like you don't know what's hidden in there and all that. And then this scene was in there. I'm like, oh, perfect. Like I get to kind of play with that. So that was, and that whole issue was so much fun. The same deal with the latest one. There's a bit in the that I'm really looking forward to drawing in the issue of Sync that I'm in the middle of right now. I like when John told me about this a while ago. I was like, oh, that'll be so much fun to draw. So, but no, I mean that happens all the time. I've been lucky enough that everything that I've been working on, they'll be always like, oh, this will be a lot of fun to draw, and this will be a lot of fun to draw. And but frankly, in this business, if you can't find stuff, if you can't have fun doing this, like you gotta, if you have a scene where it's just talking heads and nothing's going on, and if you're bored, that means the audience is gonna be bored. So you gotta find something fun in every single thing you're doing. And just to make it work. So if you're bored with the scene that you're drawing, you'd be like, all right, well, what can I do to make this a little more interesting? What if I, as simple as just a Dutch angle, or like, what if I look at them from up here? Or what if I make this panel almost a splash page instead of just being tucked away like in a 9-panel Alan Moore style grid, Right. But yeah, so there's always fun stuff that, but yeah. So my answer is that dig fight. That was great.
Big fight was fantastic. So the flip question for you, John, can you tell me something that when you gave it to Alex, maybe you loved it, maybe you thought it, but what came back to you was so much better than what you expected that you just were like, oh my God.
He just goes, never. Nope. Not even.
I can tell you examples. I've not with
Alex. Disappointment. I just don't have the
I mean, to be honest, like everything with that, I mean, like that's one of the great things. Like one of the things I love about working with Alex is that like he'll send you like the pages as they come in. Here's this page I've done today. Here's this page I've done today, and then and every single time that hits, it's like an endorphin. And you go, oh my God, he's nailed it again. He's and this is like a constant process with Alex of just like totally like knocking it out of the park. Like I remember, obviously all that fight stuff with Dig was incredible, and like the Crimson Cage, that was just like the way he was realizing these fight sequences and like the kind of that last issue, especially when the cage match, like the kind of level of detail in that was like breathtaking. And like I think I even remember like the end of issue 3 with the big one he's holding the severed head, like that being like really gruesome thing. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. Or even like like the Sync issue that I always mention is my favourite, like the kind of mad bedbug issue, like the kind of mad romantic comedy. I even remember when I saw these pages going, oh my God, Alex did not shy away from this. He's went, he's went ham on this, and like and I think I remember like I described like like the bedbug has been like a quite large butt plug, and when Alex drew it was like a fucking like the American football. Yep. And I'm like that's the thing about like Alex, like, everything becomes bigger, everything becomes like more outlandish, and so like it's always an ongoing process of like me writing something and Alex like making it bigger and better. So yeah,
and for the record, since I said that I'll videotape acting out the scene, I was in full dress for that.
Full undress.
Actually,
a little skinny.
I was out of questions, but
is,
you brought up the videotape. Do you ever send John the videos?
No. One time I sent you one photo I did which was the cover for like because most of the time I'll do it and I'll chuck them.
Yeah, that was like the Busman Bob one you sent me, I think. And you sent me the picture of like you grabbing your wife.
Yeah. So it was for issue 6, and I thought it was hilarious because it was when my son was like 2 years old, like maybe 1. He just started walking, and I had a shot of my wife posing like on a chair, like up like this, leaning back, and I was pretending to be one of the clowns grabbing her. And yeah, remember this? And then, but the thing is, but then my son was standing next to my wife, and she's going, and I'm like, ah. And my son's standing there, like, kind of like with his shoulders back, like looking like a good, like, this is a Sunday, like,
This is a
we're all
family
dressed
moment.
up type of family photo. And I just thought it was hilarious.
The family Christmas card.
Yeah.
Should have been the family Christmas card.
Yeah. That's why. The only reason why it wasn't
Or
because he had, like,
Halloween
no.
card.
Sadly, Alex doesn't send me like any like videos of his like little wee. Although I did send him a video once of like me acting out a fight scene in the Crimson Cage with my wrestling action figures to show him like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's like, okay, so we got it was like Triple H and Ultimate Warrior. Here we go. And I was like, I see. Thank you.
You got the
It
top
was just-
number like this.
And it was like it was perfect because I needed to. It was a perfect way to visualize what was supposed to be going on in that scene.
So I think,
And I was just like, "This is hilarious that you're doing with these action figures."
what John just told us is that he wrote Crimson Cage as an excuse to play with his action figures.
I write everything as an excuse to put with my.
I was about to say, yeah, this is. I mean, we're in the business of 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds over here, so yeah.
Gentlemen,
we should do a little more hardcore.
It has been a blast, as it always is. There are 2 more weeks to back Sync Monsters Deluxe
Plenty
Edition
of time.
on Kickstarter. Totally worth it. If you
Yep.
need to catch up, they
You've
have
got
the
the
ability to
catch-up
catch up.
packages. You've got everything
Catch-up
in there. And also,
packages.
if one of our biggest milestones, the stretch goal of 30,000. Once we hit that, we'll be doing a big live streaming Q&A. So if you've listened to this and thought
Oh.
those guys sound like a good time, you can get us booked up to that level, and we'll have a big live stream. You can come and ask us whatever questions you want.
That's a good point. We are only we're it looks like we're at 22,652 right now. So
Yeah.
so
we're getting there.
$7,348 away.
Yeah, we're getting there.
From you get to make them laugh instead of listening to my dumbass make them laugh. To the beautiful John Lees and the ancient Alex Cormack, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you after the next page.
Hey, thanks so much.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.